Hello, 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 hello. 4 times this time, but we are just by ourselves today. Hello, Martin. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. And you?
And what are we? We are the Lume
Plotters.
It takes so
Are we
long.
always going to do this? Yes. I'm going to make it uncomfortably long for you so that you will say it one day. You will have to say it yourself.
We have half an hour.
I know you forget
wait.
the words. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I tell my daughter, right? This is, I got time. I can wait.
Patience is a virtue.
Exactly.
And you know what? I mean, this is. I heard, as you are a father, I'm not, but that's why it's easy for me to say, right? That being properly bored, like we were when we were kids, right, is really good for your development of creativity, of the mental capacity, and all of this stuff. So being bored out of your mind is a good thing for you. And
yes.
I don't know, when you went, let's say, to a restaurant for dinner with your parents, you were young, you were just sitting somewhere on the bench
there.
And you had nothing to do. Maybe you got a pencil and a piece of paper and you could draw a bit or something. There was no phones, there was nothing. There was nothing to entertain you. You would just be bored by the adult speak of your parents with their friends. And then maybe you would sleep, but you would be bored. Right?
Yes, correct. That's nice. It's nice.
And apparently that's good for you, being bored.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Because it makes you want to develop other parts of your brain, right? You have to do something. So when my daughter always says, I'm bored, and then I say, okay, well, do something.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't tell them what to do. You just tell them to do something.
However, I wonder if our listeners would like to be bored when we are waiting for 30 minutes for you to say, plotters.
Lume plotters.
Yes. So maybe we shouldn't do that in a podcast.
No, I think not. Okay. All right.
So what is it today?
So,
today is news.
News. This is a random episode. We decided we're going to air it today. We recorded it today.
Yes.
Brand new, fresh out of the horse's mouth. Mm-hmm. We're just going to talk about a bunch of random stuff that's going on. Excuse me. We have Dubai Watch Week coming up this weekend. So 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Technically 1 week from yesterday. So that is interesting. We'll talk about what we have lined up for you guys on Dubai Watch Week. We'll talk about some of the GPHG awards and just anything else we want to talk about, really. It's going to be a random kind of
We had a lovely chat with our friends from Chrono Passion 7. Great podcast.
Yes, which is a great podcast. Yep.
Yeah, which we'll probably release early next week, right?
But they Chrono Passion 7 will have an episode with us that will most likely be released prior to our episode.
Today.
It's released today. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So it will come out
today. Go over there.
On Monday. Don't want to
check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So check it out. Chrono Passion 7 on all of your normal ways to listen to podcasts.
Really, really cool guys. I think it's will be their 6th episode, right? So it's a relatively young watch podcast, but these guys are in it for a long time already in various different other projects.
Yeah, they've been entwined.
And it's really interesting to listen to all of their ramblings as well.
Correct.
Our ramblings, yeah.
Yeah, they don't ramble as much as we do. I think they tend to stay on topic.
Yes,
they're very they're the Germans of the. Well, actually, you're German, but they're very strict to what they stick to. They have a topic, they do the topic, and no one steps a foot out of line. And that's kind of their way of doing it, which is also there's no right and wrong, right? We get complaints about this sometimes. I've had some listeners say, why can't you just stay on topic?
Well,
I'm sure others do.
We probably both suffer from ADHD, right? So it's not so easy.
OCD and ADHD.
It's like, I know something. I have to tell it. I need to just, blurt it out. But I think, what's the good thing about that is that I think they have recently the last episode 5 from Chrono Passion 7 was about so many different things. I think they had... I forgot the exact details, but they have ranked a couple of watches and had some dream watches in so many different categories. We would have needed 3 episodes to get through this, right? Because of our
this is the issue because we lack our lack of discipline.
Exactly. Anyhow,
but check them out.
Yeah,
they're cool.
So let's talk first, I think, quickly about the
wristwatch check.
Yeah, exactly.
Wristwatch check. That's Archie Luxury.
Okay. Which shitter is on your watch? On your wrist.
I'm wearing
sorry.
a very, very big shitter.
Yes.
I have my. Where's the camera on this? Where the hell is the camera?
There.
Where, do you see me at all?
Yes, I can see it. That's the
Oh,
X.
there it is. Okay, there it is.
The X.
This is my Explorer. Yes, that's it. It's my Explorer 36 millimeter Explorer 1. What to say? 124270.
I'm upping you up with one number. I'm wearing my Explorer 2.
Of course. What
Explorer
are
1,
the odds?
Explorer 2. See, there you go.
And
I can
both
say
modern
I'm
reference.
second. I'm second. Explorer second.
Yes, I'm first.
Explorer
You're
first. Yeah.
second.
So there you go.
Or you've one upped me. Either way.
Yeah. See,
But
we are so nice.
we're so interesting in our watch collections, aren't we?
So accommodating.
But
yeah.
You did get a new watch, though.
Yes, I do have a new watch. I must say I have done something which I'm not. I mean, I'm 90% sure that was a good move, right? But
10% sure it wasn't.
10% not sure. But do I miss the watch I traded in? Yeah, a bit. But I'm still very excited about the new one. So yeah, I
Tell the listeners, give them the story.
Yeah, I went to one of my favorite watch pre-owned watch dealers, Timepiece 360. They had a nice watch there. I was talking how much I like it and how much I don't understand why it's still available for the price, because that's a watch that I think it retails for about $32,000, and they had it for way less than that, and it was even on an auction one day and it didn't sell. So I was just completely confused of how this kind of watch cannot actually sell, right? So I looked at it, and then they said, well, why don't you just, trade one of your watches in and we can maybe come to a good price. So I said, okay, maybe that could be interesting. And then, long story short, eventually I just caved in. I said, all right, guys, I think I'm going to do it. Then we had a lot of discussions about because then I found out it doesn't have the papers. It just has the box, right? I mean, it has everything except all the papers that are generic papers, right? Even the service booklet, but only for the additional services, but not the original papers. So I was a bit like, right. Anyhow, so I went for it, and it's now let me reveal what it is. It's an annual calendar, or a quantième complet. So it's all French. So that means you already know that it's probably
a Rolex.
Yes. Yeah, it's a Blancpain Villeret quantième complet with a Demise. I can't pronounce this to save my life. That's the problem. It's a Hunter caseback, or half Hunter caseback. It's a rose gold watch, solid gold, and it's guilloche dial with a moon phase on the full calendar. So it means it's not an annual calendar, a full calendar, and has this nice Hunter caseback. And I think probably that's really what sold me on it, right? The next thing what sold me on it was, of course, my wife, and she said, I asked her, hey, would you trade in this watch with that watch? And she said, that for me, it's not a question, of course. And I was like, okay. And I always follow the wife's advice, right? So
I advised against it. I said, don't do it.
Yeah, I know that. I asked.
But they're both good watches. So don't get me wrong. The watch you traded as well as the watch you got were, in my mind, equals.
Yes.
But
the only thing that I have, so it's, let me see the exact name for it, which is, again, I'll figure that out in a second. It's a lovely watch to look at, right? So I have a new strap for it. I have these, how do you say, two new straps that they have thrown in the mix. It's now on a blue crocodile alligator strap, which looks, I think, pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with that. So,
okay. And what did you trade?
I traded my Vacheron Constantin 56, which is, of course, when you think, that's Holy Trinity watch, right? So is that something that you should have done? But you know what? The one thing is, I was wearing it quite, decently. So I wasn't wearing it too often, but I was also not wearing it at all. So I loved that watch. And The only thing that I thought, why am I holding on to it in this for this watch? Because I really love that watch and I like the classic design of it, the lovely moon phase and all of this stuff. But so why am I feeling like this bit of a resistance in myself? And I was thinking, probably just because it is a Vacheron Constantin, not because of the watch itself, because the movement is not an in-house movement from Vacheron Constantin. It's a great movement. Cartier, based on a Cartier 1904 PSMC. Great movement. And sorry, I have to just quickly. All right. So, so I'm, the resistance was there because of Vacheron Constantin. It's Vacheron Constantin. As I said, the movement is actually not an in-house movement, doesn't have the Geneva seal. In any case, I'm eyeing another Vacheron Constantin in my future, the overseas. So I thought, I can actually let it go. There will be another Vacheron Constantin eventually in my collection. So why not let it go now? Get a new watch without having to invest anything, because it was a one-to-one swap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I got a watch with a list price of more than twice of the list price of the Vacheron Constantin for the same price, basically. Which is insane.
I think it's not a bad deal, for sure.
Yeah, but it's not as sporty. Obviously, it's not as versatile. I had so many plus and minuses. I made a list of that. I ranked my list of priorities and I gave it points, and
But if once again, if you get the overseas, then it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought as well. That's eventually what just pushed me over. I said like, oh well, yeah. I'm in any case want to trade this up to overseas at some stage. So done, and I'm actually quite content and happy. So that means it's good. It could be worse. I could be not content and happy, but I am. So that means it was a good trade. I'm happy. I hope they can sell it for a good price, and they are happy. I'm happy. And good. That's it.
As long as you're happy, that's the main thing, right?
Exactly.
Screw everyone else, what everyone else says or thinks.
And it's keeping very good time, plus 1 second a day. So I'm excited about that as well. So it's about 10 years old, this watch, but in fantastic condition. It's like new. 22 millimeter lugs, which is interesting for a 40 millimeter watch. But yeah, it's really, really nice. And I must say, I mean, there is some horological value to it that's just above the Vacheron Constantin. I have also a Guilloche decorated golden rotor, not only a full solid gold watch, which the Vacheron Constantin was steel, but it's also 72 hours power reserve with, I think, 2 or 3 barrels in it. It has these hidden pushers under the Hunter case back. And there's the funny story is this movement has actually usually the pushers of the calendar to accept, change the moon phase, the month, the day of the week and stuff, under the lugs, hidden there. So you do not see that in the case. It's very, very elegant because no pushers on the side of the case, like in other brands that you have that. And that's patented for Blancpain. They have a patent on that. And in this case, because of the Hunter case back, they couldn't put the pushers under the lugs because it's a bit bulbous, and so you wouldn't reach it. So they put it under the little case back that you can flap open, which is super cool. And it's also another patent that they have. You can actually change these things, the moon phase, the date, the day, at any time without destroying the mechanism. There's a specific time frame where they're saying, okay, you can only change it like once. When you click it during this time, it will only advance one day or one step, but you can't break it. It's impossible to break. And that's cool, because these annual calendars and complete calendars, usually when you set the dates at the wrong time and you press the pushers at the wrong time, it can seriously be an issue. So yeah. It's a good watch. It's a great horological value, and it's very, very elegant. So I like that. But enough about that. So,
all right, I'll tell you about my story that happened this weekend.
Tell me.
So, or this week, I should say. So, my wife and I. So, by the way, I mentioned, I think, in the CP7 podcast that I bought a new G-Shock, right? Well, sadly, the G-Shock had to be returned because apparently there was some power-related issue with the dial. I've never seen a defective G-Shock like this before. The dial was not holding constant, like the not the backlight, but the actual is it LEDs? I think it's OLEDs, right? Or LEDs. Were
LCDs.
not.
Yeah.
Is it LCD? No, I think it's LED.
No, it's still LCD.
LCD?
LED light
Okay.
backlight, but not the
But
LCDs.
whatever it is, the numbers themselves, you know how they're normally just black, right? Well, they were pulsating constantly. They wouldn't stop. And then if you got it in the sun, where the watch heated up, then it would be going almost black, white, black, white, black, white.
That's
and
weird.
it looked almost as if you were recording it with a slower frame rate camera, right? And then it was flashing at you. Yeah. Nonetheless, I returned it, and I was very surprised because Watch House took it back immediately. They said, "We apologize. Would you like another one?" And I said, "Sure." And they said, "Oh, sorry, we don't have another one." So I'm like, "Okay, fine." So
will they get you one, or do you just say like, okay,
no, they just give the money back. They said they gave the money back. I said, sure, I'll find another one somewhere else. Okay. Amazon has one right now, so I really don't care where it comes from. And Amazon's about 100 dirhams cheaper as well. So,
okay.
Point of story is that, so while we were at this mall, all of my used watch guys here in Elaine, all of these watch sellers, jewelry stores are in this mall. So on the way out, I told my wife, okay, let's just pass by. And you're walking down, there's 3 watch shops, and you're walking down this corridor, and they're on either side. And all the guys are always waving at me, you know, saying hello. I'm like, this is bad. Like, if they know me this well, you know, they've taken enough of my money. So we're walking through, and I just stopped to look around, see what the deals are. There was a few, I mean, we'll get into this because we're going to talk about Rolex prices dropping, but there was quite a few Rolexes in the 10 to 14,000 dirham price range, used, of course. We're talking pre-owned, date justs, things like this, which I think is now we're getting to these very good values. So I walk into one guy beckons me in, says, come, look. I'm like, oh God, what is he going to show me? He says, you know, the special Oyster Perpetual. I'm like, which one? He goes, yeah, the blue one. I'm like, I have no idea. The Tiffany blue one. I'm like, they're everywhere. I think it's not a big deal. He goes, no, not that one. He said, hold on. And I'm like, what on earth is he talking about? He comes back, and my wife is there as well. This is kind of the key point. He comes back, and he has a celebration dial, OP31. And my wife sees it and her eyes light up. She says, I want it. And I was amazed because I had never seen one before.
Mm-hmm.
So we start negotiating. Okay, he wanted 38,000 dirhams, which the retail price is 22 and a half roughly. So it's a fairly big markup. My wife says she's willing to give her Omega plus her Rolex plus her. She had a, the Van Cleef bracelet. And then we would still owe like a solid 15K. So I was thinking about, you know, is it worth it? Then we had to go get my daughter from school. So I told him, I'll call you. So we left, and then we talked about it at home, and she says, no, I want it now. I don't care what I have to sell to get it. The only thing she didn't want to sell was her Cartier Panthère. Everything else could go. So I called the guy back. We agreed on it.
Right. Yeah.
It is. So we agreed on a price. Essentially, he said he did not want my wife's weird Rolex. This is the same guy that I bought the weird Rolex from, the 26 millimeter purple and weird looking. So he said, I am not taking that watch back. It sat here for over a year. This is not the type of watch the ladies here want to buy. So you can deal with that yourself. I will buy the Van Cleef and I will buy the Omega. So I said, fine. So I think it ended up being, I would have to pay him 20K or something along those lines, 25K. And then I would sell the Omega. I think something around there. So we agreed on this. So I went back with my loop. And of course, the issue here is that an OP can be had for less than 20K of this reference number. And the issue is, once again, that this celebration dial adds almost double value to the regular OP,
Yes.
being that it's so rare. So then the question
we're
is,
talking 31 millimeters. Yeah, no, just to confirm,
31.
Yeah.
Correct. So 31 millimeters. So once again, the dial alone adds almost 20,000 dirhams of value, which to me is ridiculous. So you better be sure that this is not a dial swap. Because once again, the dials are swappable. We know this. And excuse me, the warranty cards only say the serial number and the model number, the reference number, right? It doesn't give you a dial code. There was a hang tag involved. The hang tag did have a dial code, which was dial 0010. It's a 4-digit thing. I looked it up. It was the celebration dial. But then, of course, if somebody can fake a dial, you can fake a tag as well. So the warranty card would stay real.
Yeah.
The watch would stay real. Except the only thing that would be manipulated would be the dial and that tag. And of course, they didn't have the original invoice, because the original invoice would then tell you in words, celebration dial.
Well, there's always the risk, right? Buying pre-owned. So that's why.
Yes. Well, the thing is, pre-owned, as a discount, you take these risks. But pre-owned with a, when you're paying that much more, to me, it doesn't sound right. So anyway, I said, okay, I'll look at it. I will go through it with a fine-tooth comb. If it adds up, if I'm 100% sure that this is not an aftermarket dial or a redial, I'll buy it. So I walk in with my loop and I start looking at it, and it looks perfect. I mean, it winds perfect. It still had case back stickers. It still had clasp stickers. It looked really good. But once again, the only thing of importance was the dial. So I kept looking at the dial, and while everything looked fine, but there was one issue that I did not like. And the issue was that on the new Rolexes, in between the words Swiss made, they put the little coronet, the small Rolex coronet in between Swiss and made. And on this coronet, it was missing the middle prong of the crown. Which then, of course, starts bringing about a lot of, the only way you could scratch off accidentally such a thing would be if this was opened. The dial was out.
Either that, or it was a misprint, which happens also
Correct.
with Rolex.
And it could be a misprint.
Happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it was coming from the
to quality
AD
control, but it happens, especially with these expensive dials. Sometimes because the celebration dial is hard to make for them, right? Because of the different colors. It's not an easy dial to make. So maybe even if there's a misprint, I don't know, maybe they just say like, okay, it's so tiny, it's a 31 millimeters. Who would see that? Nobody sees it. So, right?
It could be. And this is
Rolexes
the thing.
Rolexes are not flawless. I mean, especially the dials.
No, they're not.
There are sometimes little issues,
But it gives you enough of a red flag to say, I'm not going to buy a secondhand watch without proper papers, right? And so this is exactly what I said. I said, sorry, man, unless you can get me an original Rolex invoice from the dealer where this was purchased, I'm going to say no. So I told him, if you find the invoice, if you get the invoice from the customer, I will buy it. But otherwise, it could have been, once again, a misprint, or it could have been that it was a dial change and somebody scratched it.
Yeah.
Because remember, it could very easily, you could make so much money by changing these dials.
Yes, but
you take a 20 dirham.
Yeah, it's a 31 millimeter, and that's not a very commonly faked size in this for the celebration dial, at least. But yeah, you could, of course. I mean, you're doubling the value of your watch, basically, just
of the
dial.
watch, exactly.
Absolutely,
so this, it's absolutely true. It's all signs or most signs point to that it's legitimate. But if it came from the AD, if it came from the AD and I saw this in the AD, I would not care.
Yes, exactly. This is a misprint where you say like, well, can live with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. But I showed my wife the misprint and she did not like it. She said for this much money, she doesn't want a misprint. Right. Which I also understand. For 20K, I'll deal with a misprint. For 40, I'm not going to.
But you could then go to, you have still 5-year warranty.
Yes, but will they replace it? Or will they say, because there's certain things that they say are within tolerances. And this, I think, is so small, they would just say it's within tolerance.
I don't know. It's a misprint. So I think Rolex generally is more is generous with these kind of things. Of course, you have to wait for it, right? That takes a while until they have another
6
dial
months.
available. And the other thing is, of course, if the watch was opened in between, which you don't know, if somebody opened it to check or anything like that, they could say, well, we don't know. That could have happened afterwards. And then you wouldn't have
So it's too much, too many of a red flag.
Yeah.
So I said no. But the funny thing is, what is my wife trading? The exact same reference OP, but in the smaller size. So if she would trade that, which we bought that one for 11 grand from the same guy, for the same exact watch, she would pay 30K more nearly just because it has a fancy dial.
Yeah, it's a few millimeters bigger.
And, yes, but I like the smaller OPs. I think they're cool. But I started looking at on eBay for actual dials, not aftermarket dials, because I was thinking to her, you already have the watch. There's no need to get another watch. If you want to switch dials, you can. And there was a slew of 26 millimeter OP dials, genuine ones available on eBay for $100.
Yeah.
So as long as you keep the original dial, you have no issues.
Yeah,
so I found her a pink one, but she didn't want it.
Yeah,
because the same pink as yours, by the way, the one that you bought for your wife.
Yeah,
she said, my wife says the same thing, that the pink sunburst is not cool. It's not pink enough.
It looked really nice on the website. I bought it, and then for retail price, the wife looked at it and said, "Yeah, nice." And she already has a Cartier with a pink dial, the Guilloche dial, the Ballon Bleu, and we thought it would be pinker. The pink was so subtle, so
it's so silver. It's silver.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually as the pink dials from the OP, for example. They are that's candy
Those
pink,
are
right?
Candy pink.
Yeah, exactly. It's very different. And so basically we returned that one. Sadly, because it was just the pink was not pink enough. Or not the shade of pink.
Exactly.
Well, it is what it is.
Okay. Yes. Now, let's go on to something else. We've talked about our woes
story.
and our problems.
This is the story of...
I'm sad.
I wanted to buy something, but then I didn't, in short.
And I'm never going to see one again. And that's what it comes down to. That was the one and done.
Yeah, the thing is with the celebration dial for the Rolex OP, in which is, I think, a topic in itself, has the role of the Oyster Perpetual and the Datejust being reversed. The Datejust was the one that was above the OP. The OP you could walk in and buy. The Datejust was, to a certain extent, also an available model, but it was harder, somewhat harder to get. Now it looks like you can easier get Datejusts than the Oyster Perpetuals. They have been condensed into less dial colors in certain sizes. I think in 41 you only get 4 or 5 sizes. And then now what is happening is they're all on back order. They're all trading for a big premium. Even the OP39 that were trading with a discount sometimes
are going up,
are still trading with a nice premium. So it's a weird situation right now. So they still kept their value for some reason. The Oyster Perpetual as the entry level Rolex is still with a premium. Surprising.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Some colors are available. So I keep seeing silver with the gilt or the gold on it, the gold hands, which I don't like. And I do see the pink once in a while in the small sizes for stainless steel. Actually, they're all stainless steel because the OPs don't come in anything else. I've seen blue, navy blue in the small sizes because, of course, I'm looking for the wife. She wants a small size, but she does not like any of the colors. So that's ultimately what it comes down to is she wants some vibrant, bright color, which they don't even make in the 28. They only make it in the 31. So pointless, futile, doesn't matter.
It's getting there. I think the market is relaxing still. There's still some way to go down a bit more. I don't think we will see some uptick yet, even though I think economy-wise, 2024 will be probably, I think we have reached the bottom of the recession. Everybody I speak to thinks, also in Europe.
We're in a recession? I thought the recession was still coming.
No, I think it's in some. I mean, depending on which country you're in, right? So we are okay.
Yes.
We're not
This
in
is the thing:
recession.
is every time there's a recession here in UAE, we never feel anything. We're just like, okay,
Yeah,
well, everything
extremely
is cheaper now.
anti-cyclical. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But when and I think then, but before prices will go up again, it will take a long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think there's a lot of people have been burned. But by the way, news. This timepiece gentleman. I don't know if you know about this person, a YouTuber, and this pre-owned watch dealer. He got finally arrested. He is now in the hands of the FBI.
This is the
mail
fraud.
fraud,
I know exactly.
and bank wire fraud, and all of the stuff. He did the Ponzi scheme basically of consignment ones. So he took watches.
But
in
his
consignment.
YouTube videos, I watched them, and I was thinking to myself, this guy is an absolute, because he's based out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken, out of
he was,
Dallas.
and then
he
went to Los Angeles.
Yeah. So, but when I watched the videos when he was in Dallas, I was looking like, well, who is this guy? Like, there's something wrong with the way he acts, and he would do such weird things that I was sketched out by him. Once again, used car salesman vibes.
Yeah, it was a bit of a He had this partner Marco, who has now a different company, Grand Caliber, and all of his stuff. So I think this was more the watch expert. He was the trader and the talker and the smooth talker, the guy, the used car salesman, more or less, right? The other person was more like the person who knew about. I mean, he still knows a lot about watches. Does some great videos of explaining all the little differences with vintage watches. And he knows a lot, but I think this guy was just a trader. He didn't know much about watches. He was just buy, sell. Yeah. Anyhow, so he's now in the hands of the FBI. He apparently screwed, was about $5 million in debt, screwed about $3 million out of people who gave watches for consignments to him that he sold and then spent the money and didn't pay the consignees, which is, of course, always a risk if you consign watches with pre-owned dealers. So companies like
your dealers.
Yeah, companies like Watchbox or some other pre-owned watch dealers that actually purchase watches. I mean, they give you the money. They don't say, "Oh, we can consign it." Is usually the better option in case they go bankrupt or whatever. There's a fire, and is everything insured properly? Who knows, right? So there's a lot of issues there. If they get robbed, will you get your money? This happened to a company in Germany. Many people have now waiting for the insurance to pay out. What will the insurance pay out? The market value, the current market value, the market value back then, the value that it was consigned for. Who knows, right? It's all very complicated until all of this is sorted out.
Exactly.
Anyhow, so
all right,
that's that.
Now back on topic.
We didn't have
30 minutes in.
It was a random chit chat.
Yes, the topic was two things. Two things we need to talk about, is all I'm saying. We wanted to talk about Dubai Watch Week, what our plans are for Dubai Watch Week.
Yes.
And you wanted to talk about GPHG.
Yes.
These two things.
Plans for Dubai Watch Week. First, more important.
Okay.
I will be there from Thursday to Monday, so I will be there every day.
I will be there Friday through Sunday.
Yeah. Any kind of our list, anyone from our listeners who wants to meet up, I'm there. I will be there all the time. I might have a couple of interviews scheduled, so I might be in the press center and other places.
Let's go through our schedule. Let's talk the listeners through what we have coming up. We'll do it quickly because we do have a lot scheduled, but I'll talk about the big ones. So of course we're going to all of the
horology forums,
talks, the horology forums,
the panel discussions.
Exactly. So there's one, How Breitling Conquered the Skies. We have...
Before that, I'm going to the Aston Martin press event, Gérard Perregaux and Aston Martin. That's exclusive for the press. Starts at 8:30. I'm very ready.
By the way, did we mention this? We haven't mentioned this in our podcast. We got press accreditation.
Yes, we are.
So we are going as press.
Correct. We will have some press
should
badges.
Be fun.
Yeah,
and also do keep in mind, you can watch these horology forum events through
all events are live
link.
streamed.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to be here. Yeah. Okay,
but
I'm just gonna name a few.
If you are here, and I think most of the horology forums are sold out already. I mean, sold out as in there's no entrance fee. Everything is free, but the seats are taken. You can still
Exactly.
go to this forum, go to the counter. There's a couple of ladies that are scanning your tickets and stuff and say, hey, I'm on standby. I just want to see if I can still get in, because so many people register for these events and don't go because it's free. So you just have always a lot of no-shows. That means you wait until a couple of minutes before the event starts, and they might then still let you in, right? Because of so many people not pitching up. So don't worry. Sometimes just try your luck. I had this the last couple of times as well when I was too late to sign up for an event. Just try your luck. There is a chance you can still get in. So don't give up.
Yes, exactly. So we have a few to be bespoke or not. New kids on the clock about the new kind of new guard, I guess we should say, in watchmaking, as well as, I guess, the watch press. So the guys of like Waco and Pierre Beaver and these guys.
You talked about on Thursday we have the Retailer's Quick Step, which could be,
I did not mention that because I didn't know what it was.
The Retailer's Quick Step
so I skipped
where Ahmed Siddiqui is also in the panel. And that could be very, very interesting to see what the backgrounds of the big Rolex ADs and the distributors, not just Rolex. Yeah. Sorry, there's also, of course, every other brands. But if they are talking about what's going on, there's Karl Friedrich Scheufele, so the owner and CEO of Chopard is in the panel. It's moderated by Robin Swithenbank. It's a journalist, watch journalist. Patrick Chaloup is there from the Chaloup Group, very big company here in the UAE as well. And of course, Mohammed Siddiqui from the Siddiqui Holding, from Siddiqui family, who's organizing the entire Dubai Watch Week. So that's a very interesting, high-profile panel.
Yes,
so that could be quite interesting to see.
So, by the way, if I skip over anything, let me know, and we'll go back.
And then we have Click Clock. At
Click
the end.
Clock. I said this is to be bespoke or not.
Yeah, correct.
So Click Clock is, I guess, a series that they're running. They have 3 different ones. Each one about something different in watchmaking, or in this case, it's bespoke watchmaking. The other one is obsessive collecting disorder, and the last one is do birds of a feather clock together. Yeah, I'm assuming this is about the collective mindset of how we are buying our watches, how the watchmakers are manufacturing their watches, how everything is very, very similar these days, right? The kind of Royal Oak style Genta designs, everybody has to have one, right? So is this good or is this bad? What else? We have a Super League of Sustainability. We did an episode on sustainability. Not sure if it's live yet or not, but that's one of the things that should be interesting for us. I'm just going to kind of go quickly. We have one, which is going to be very interesting. It's given by, who is it? By Christie's Auction House. And it is Restoration, Cars versus Watches. And I'm looking forward to that one. That should be really cool. Yeah. Next one is Winding Forward, the Path and Philosophy of Monsieur JCB, Jean-Claude Bivet.
Yeah.
And then what else? Sunday, Trials and Tribulations of Watch Innovations, Thinking Differently with Max Busa.
Yeah.
All for One and One for All. I have no idea what that one is. What is All for One and One for All? Do you remember?
Don't know. I have to check. Which date is that?
This is Sunday at
3:30
p.m. While he's looking this up. And then lastly, we have this one that we don't know exactly what's going on, but we want. It's called Family Business Never Sleeps. It says Arabic panel on there, which I don't know if that means it's Arabic language or just Arabic people. If it's Arabic language, we're going to pass on that one. If it's in English, we will go.
I think it's
because a lot of the retailers here, of course, being Siddiqui, Russell Huri, they are family businesses. So, and then lastly on Monday, we have Efficient Watch Collecting and Is After Sales an Afterthought? So those are the big ones that we are going to.
The ones I really as well looking forward to is here's the Click Clock, Do Birds of a Feather Clock Together. There's Felix Baumgartner from Uwe.
Yeah. It's good.
Adam
group there.
Kraniotis, the CEO of Red Bar, right, and a writer for Revolution, and Davide Cerato, so the current CEO of Bremont and former head of the director of design for Tudor
has not
and HYT and
accepted
Montblanc.
our interview request. He has not accepted our interview. Not
he
yet.
still has
So,
a
David,
chance.
if you're listening to this, please click accept.
Yeah, we want to talk to you.
Yes.
There's so much we need to talk about, right? We both of us are Tudor fans. Both of us.
Yeah, but we're going straight for Tudor. If I talk to him, it's all about Tudor. Yeah.
I have a Bremont, right? So there's things we can talk about. There's we have questions. Anyhow, so it would be fantastic to understand where he wants to take Bremont and just in general. So, the bit of history and talk about that. Then again, the next one is hosted by Barbara Polombo. She is absolutely fantastic. She's a lovely, lovely lady. And I love just hearing her talk. It's just great. And she's moderating a panel with Nicholas Folks, who I think is also...
Who wrote the book on Reverso, right? I have it on my shelf right here.
Also as an orator or just a panel member, having him on any panel is just amazing. He is so sharp. His words are just... you can print them directly. It's fantastic. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just like... and he's absolutely funny. And George Bamford. So I think this is a very interesting mix, these two together, because George Bamford is and Nick Fuchs. I mean, they're just like...
polar opposites.
Yes, they're opposites, right? And it should be super interesting to see. That's the to be or not to be spoke event.
Yes.
So anyhow, the panels are, as always, very, very well curated with who is in which panel and what's being talked about, right? So really cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to it.
And we have a few really, really good interviews lined up, which you will hear some episodes later on. Just of note, I'm not going to mention all of them because we do have a lot. We have an interview with Čapek. We have an interview with Grand Seiko. We have an interview with Pierre Beaver himself.
Mm-hmm.
We have an interview with Oris, Ralf Studer, the CEO of Oris. We have an interview with Benoit Metienne, yes, who is the founder of Resins.
Yeah.
We have, who else? Who else is Edward Meilon?
Yeah.
Jana Dox from Doxa.
Yeah, we have so much coming up, and it of course we will also take the chances of just discussing or meeting people, interviewing or having a chat with you, and going on a podcast episode with us. We will have other content creators and other press people and other people we just might bump into and just do a impromptu quick chat with them and put that on a podcast. We plan to upload short summaries every day of what we have experienced, what funky
like
stuff,
a 15-minute episode every day.
Small.
We'll upload it. So we'll generally at the end of the day around 6-7 p.m. we're going to record an episode, 15 minutes, just to tell you what it is that we've done doing that day.
Yeah, what we've experienced.
Otherwise, we're going to forget.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the longer interviews we will just do or following.
We will sprinkle them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sprinkle them throughout.
We milk it for a long time.
Of course.
For 2 years.
You'll be hearing about this for 40 years.
Because then...
2043.
Until Dubai Watch Week 2025. Yeah, so
yes.
We will make it fun, I hope.
We'll, exactly.
Short, crisp, and entertaining.
All right. Now, that being said...
GPHG.
Let's start GPHG before we wrap up.
Quickly talk about this. I know we already...
You are the owner, the proud owner of a GPHG winning...
Can
watch.
You believe this? I
don't believe it because I don't understand why. I have no idea why this watch, which brought nothing new, zero newness.
#humble brag. I'm so blessed.
How is this? I mean, I honestly don't believe it. This watch is nothing special in terms of we'll go into what the watch is in a moment, but I'll leave my rant for then. Let's start with which categories do you want to talk about?
All of them. No, so first the Aguidor. This is the Grand Prix. That's the big Oscar for overall best picture.
If you win the Aguidor, you cannot win anything else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so you cannot win any other categories.
Of course you can.
No, this watch cannot win any other categories. It can only win the Aguidor.
But usually the same watches not necessarily in multiple categories. It sometimes rarely is, but
it could be.
So, by the way, just for the process works like this. There's all the watches that are entered. There's lots of entries. Then there's this whole body of the GPHG members, which is about 800 people, I think. They then elect the nominated watches. And then there's a jury of a smaller body of people who then decides who's the winner of the nominated watches. So that's a two-stage process. First, it's the entirety of the GPHG members. And we recently had a fellow content creator, right, Jenny L. from Germany, who actually is now a member of the GPHG. So it's not member of the jury yet, but a member of the GPHG.
Yeah,
so
but when you tell me that Nico, whatever his name is, Nico, the fat one, the healthy one, yes.
Van der Horst, yes.
Is that his name? Van der Horst? I don't know what his last name is.
That's his name.
Okay. When you tell me that he is also on the committee, it makes me think
he's a member of the 800 people as a watch influencer.
He's an idiot. I don't like him. I do not like him. I don't like his personality. I don't like his looks. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like anything about him. And it makes me think less of GPHG.
I think, I personally, I think I like him to a certain, I like his style. He's the new
Archie Luxury.
He's a troublemaker. Yeah, it's a bit like Archie Luxury. He's a bit too brash. He's a bit too.
I don't like him. I like Jenny L. Jenny L's cool. Yeah. I like her. But I do not like this guy.
Anyhow, so in the jury, there's a couple of people. It's all on the website if you want. But hey, the big prize the Agidor went to Audemars Piguet this time, which is a big win. This is cool, and it is a code 1159. And I had it a few times on my wrist in the AP boutique, and I love that watch. It's so nice if you have it on your wrist. The first few pictures when it was launched, I was one of the people who said, "What were they thinking?" Right? That's
because of the numerals. It was the numerals that did the issue.
Very bland dials, right? When you launch
but they got rid of
with something very bland, I thought, oof, that's a tough sell. But now with the nice Fume dials, the blue with the gold and all of the stuff, it's so nice. And it's a very comfortable watch to wear. It's one of these watches you put on your wrist and think, now I get it, right?
And the cloth straps, the sailcloth straps are fantastic.
They are super comfortable. It's weird to have, or even the rubber straps for let's say the Royal Oak Offshore Diver and stuff. Everything just fits so well when you have it on your wrist. Anyhow, long story short, they won. So that's cool. For a watch that has a super ultra complication, it has, I think it's a perpetual calendar, chronograph, tourbillon, everything in one watch. It's pretty insane. Then we have a couple of,
it doesn't have a moon phase though.
I did this little experiment of just choosing from the nominated watches which watch would I, think will win, and I have exactly, and that's you can shower the praise onto me. I have done 0 of all of them right.
Who did you think would win the Agui d'Or?
How could I have such a hit rate of absolutely not a single one?
But who did you think would win the whole thing? Well, who's going to win, in your opinion?
I didn't choose the Agui d'Or, I must admit.
Okay. Just all the other ones.
But yeah, for ladies' watches, for example, I didn't think the Piaget would win.
The Piaget is absolutely stunning. I love it. Yes. However, but based on these, I would have gone Piaget. I think I see why it won.
For me, this was like the Hermès is, for example, the Petit Lune or Lune, or even the X Ruby. My God, such a style.
The X Ruby is nice.
So stylish, so, they just have so much of artistic value.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, go to the GPHG website and you can go to GPHG nominated timepieces for 2023.
And then to the winner.
Look through. Yeah. Exactly.
Anyhow, my point is I have done everything wrong. But on the other hand, which we don't want to go into all the details except the sports watch, because that's the one I have. No, we want to go into the generally, I wanted to say there is a lot of focus on watchmaking. We have seen winners now: Petermann Bédard, Beauvais, Laurent Ferrier, Ulysse Nardin. And in the tourbillon watch category, a watch that actually does not showcase the tourbillon on the front of the watch has won. How cool is that? it's a watch that has the tourbillon only visible to the case back, right? So it's only for the owner. Nobody else will know that your watch has a tourbillon because only you can see it when you take it off the wrist. How cool. It's understated, right? And then
Okay,
Ulysse Nardin
let's go through once
one.
again.
But what I wanted to say...
Hold on, let's go category by category. Why are you jumping around?
Because we have no time. You wanted to say...
who cares? The people will listen. If you want to turn it off, we won't be upset.
Okay,
let's go.
Okay.
We did ladies.
Yeah.
Let's do ladies complication.
Yes.
To me, it's the Anderson Genève. That one to me is absolutely stunning.
And you know what I thought? Yes, it's super stunning. It's beautiful. It's stylish. But I thought it's a world timer, right?
Yeah, it's not a complication.
Which
really.
is a good complication to have. But I thought from a what we saw there is 3 entries. I mean, you have Anderson Genève, Chopin, and IWC, which is traditional watchmakers, right?
Yes.
But then you have Dior, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton in the complication category.
Mm-hmm.
Louis Vuitton with a fiery hard automaton, right?
I don't like it. It doesn't look good.
No, but from the horological perspective, these automatons are so hard to do, and they have the Fabrique du Temps. They can do these kind of things in house. This is not commissioned somebody to do it. That's their own making. Dior, the Grand Soir, Automate Étoile, blah blah blah, and so on. Very very nice monopusher watch with this complication. But I would personally thought the Gucci will win because
I don't know why you thought that.
Because if you see this watch in motion, right? It's a planetarium. The individual diamonds that are the indices with the stars around them, they twist around themselves in 9 seconds. Then the tourbillon in the center, which is studded with diamonds, which looks like a star in itself, turns, I think, in 90 seconds once around. It's also something which is off the normal stuff, right? So there's so much happening on this dial, which of course you can't see on the picture, but if you watch the YouTube videos of these watches, wow, this is just such a stunning complication. And the
Dior won, right? The Dior was the one that won.
The Dior one. I would have betted on the Gucci because I thought it's also so surprising. Gucci is now pushing.
But the Dior is also an automaton.
Yes, exactly. It's also lovely. I mean, everything is moving on this dial, which
it has like a night sky. Yes, it has a building, a night sky, and then there's clouds.
Yeah,
it's a very good looking watch.
Yeah, and I think if you get women into this, I mean, and I think this is the one thing that we often don't respect enough. There's so much of female watch collectors that appreciate these kind of complications. They're not just like, oh, I want a quartz watch because I don't have to wind it. They love this, right? And this is what I think we should always remember. This, and maybe at some stage, maybe, as I think the presenter said this yesterday, maybe we don't need ladies and men's complication categories separate from each other.
Yeah.
Right? Because a complication is a complication.
It is. And they look very similar. It's just like a rose gold men's watch versus women's watch. They look the same. Like the IWC Portofino looks the same. All right, next men's category.
Men's category. Yeah.
The one that sticks out to me here is the De Bethune Starry Seas and the Audemars Piguet Star Wheel.
The De Bethune is for me your opinion of Nico. I just don't like the case. I'm
not looking at the case. It's fine. I didn't look at the case.
I don't look at the I don't know why. It's not my cup of tea.
But who won this one? I don't see a winner for it.
It was, I think, Simon Brett.
Did they leave this off the website?
No, Simon Brett won.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the website and the winners, and it's not on there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there it is, all the way down at the bottom. They didn't.
Horological Revelation.
Horological Revelation.
Yeah,
but this is men's group.
Bertou won the chronometer prize. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Quickly moving on. Men's complication.
I think for me, this is like the Parmigiani Fleurier. I'm such a big fan of Parmigiani. I think that their watches are so beautifully simplistic and clean. And I mean, this is just dial. The only words printed on that thing is Swiss made, right?
Yeah, the
Yes.
Parmigiani.
Just a logo, and that's it. No blubber, 5 lines of text of water resistance and the name of the watch and micro rotor and
Correct.
whatever. It's just plain. It's beautiful. It's so
Correct.
elegant. Yeah. Okay. Men's complication. Sorry. Let's go on. Oh, and we have not mentioned that there is this new Audemars Piguet star wheel, right? Which is also, I think,
Yes.
pretty cool. It's a very complicated way of showing the time and nothing else. There's not even a date on it.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
it's
that's
super
lovely.
complicated. And it's a retrogradish thing that how the discs rotate around itself and around the display. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful watch.
All right.
And yeah, next.
So the complications.
Mhm.
Once again, the Parmigiani Fleurier, as we just mentioned.
Yeah.
No date on this one, which is even cooler. It's a Rattrapante chronograph.
Yeah.
With no subdials, no chronograph. It's one hand.
It's
super cool.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a minute chronograph. The thing is, it doesn't measure seconds, right?
Exactly.
And it's a GMT watch as well. So it's like it's a fantastic watch, but it's an odd one, right? So yeah, it's a minute chronograph and a GMT watch that has no date. Yeah, interesting.
Exactly.
But
all right, next category. Anything else you want to talk about in this one?
Just a second. Yeah. So in this category, I think we should say who won.
Okay,
the men's complication, which was Wittelainen with their world timer.
Which I don't like. I don't like it.
I like it. I like the design. It's not for me. I'm not a square case person, and it's a world timer. It's a nice world timer. But I think there you have to just see the dial close up, because that's what Wittelainen and their guilloche work is just absolutely stunning. And also the decoration of the movement, I guess. Beautiful. But it's an odd one. I have never seen a Wittelainen in a square case, but maybe I'm not super informed. But that's new. That's very new. So
it is. It's sort of interesting, we'll say. But to me, in this category, I like the Royal Oak concept.
Mm.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like the Fleurier, the Parmigiani Fleurier, which we mentioned. That's kind of it. Everything else, blah. Nothing special.
Yeah.
Let's go next category.
Iconic. Yeah. So there, I think,
this I'm upset with. I'm upset with the fact that the Ulysse Nardin won this.
Why?
Because I think the freak is freakishly ugly. Maybe that's what freak means.
It's certainly
not iconic.
It's a freak. I think it is for Ulysse Nardin. I think that if you see that watch, I think the first thing you think is like, oh, that's a freak. This watch.
I'm going to go with the IWC should have won this.
No.
The Ingenieur didn't win anything, and I think that's
was never really that iconic or popular. It was there, and everybody said like, that's the one Genta design that nobody talks about, and that's I think that's one of the things that made it so interesting when we saw the relaunch.
I don't know,
but I don't feel that it earned the price to do something which is nice, but it's just a new version of the Ingenieur, right? Yeah. Same like the Tag Heuer, beautiful watch, I think, and it is an iconic design.
It's ugly.
The Breitling, meh. Yeah, it's a Navi timer. It's a new Navi timer, which is not. It's nice. It's the Chopard.
Yeah. None of these.
Nice watch, but where is the newness factor? I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be new because it's iconic, but then I think for me personally, the Royal Oak Offshore, it can't get more iconic at the moment than the AP.
So
maybe
why did
even the Navi timer?
Win
maybe even the Navi timer as an iconic watch. Maybe the Navi timer would also be iconic. And the IWC Ingenieur, I could see why somebody would want it to win, but I don't think it is as. I don't know what I expected. As you know, we warmed up to it a bit more, right? I do
Yeah, we
think
did.
it's
We
a
did.
great watch.
I definitely did.
And-
After I saw the blue one in person,
And I might
I
actually
definitely
still think of adding it to my collection because I really like it on my wrist. It's a lovely watch, and I always like the old engineer as well. So maybe I even go vintage.
So by the way,
But the
I'm
Freak
going
I will
through
never
this
buy.
list.
I would never buy a Freak.
No,
Never
God,
in
no.
my life.
Ugh,
It's
disgusting.
not my cup of tea. But I can understand why they thought it's an iconic piece. But and of course it's a relaunch now. They're really starting to reinvigorate the Freak. I think they have done a lot of the movement in itself that is basically on as the hands, right? The movement, the hands are the movement basically, right? That is freakish. That's amazing from a watchmaking perspective. And they have done weird, outlandish designs and all of the stuff. But I think now they're focusing on that, the horological part, right? Highlighting this. And that could be cool. But anyhow, yeah, it's not a watch that I personally like, but I can maybe see the reasoning. But anyhow, I'm always wrong. So when I choose a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
don't
Okay,
listen
let's
to
talk
me.
tourbillon.
Tourbillon.
Tourbillon, who do you like? I like the Parmigiani Fleurier.
Yeah,
I like
that was
the
for
Arnold
me.
and Son.
Yeah.
And the HYT.
I must say, from a horological perspective, the HYT is very tasteful.
Insane.
It is insane. I think I could look at this watch for hours.
Yeah.
However, I don't think I can read the time on it. But
no, and you can't wear it either. But it doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be worn.
It's
I mean, the Beauvais is also hideously disgusting, and that one I wouldn't wear either. But
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't wear it. But this is the Beauvais watch is from an artistic perspective. There is not a single surface that is not hand engraved on this watch. Insane. How it's skeletonized and how it's decorated. What a craftsmanship. Would I wear it? No. But
no.
You can look at this watch for hours, I think. You can take a loop and just marvel at this one. Even the Arnold and Son.
And you mentioned the winner already, right?
Yes, Laurent Ferrier. Laurent Ferrier. Yes,
Ferrier with the non-visible tourbillon.
Yeah, the tourbillon visible only through the case back. To be honest, I think it's a super stylish, very, very elegant watch. Period. That it won. I mean, the Bulgari. Let's talk about the Bulgari. It's a weird color scheme, right? With a very greenish, very aggressive green, with the tourbillon in the center, which is very interesting. It's a striking tourbillon, right? So it actually even has a chiming complication.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely fantastic from a watchmaking perspective. In the Octa. Not in the Octo Finissimo, but in the Octo case, it's cool. It's really cool. I'm not a fan of the color scheme. I mean, I know it sounds very old school, but if they have done that with the black and have everything that's green, they put that in a rose gold or so, maybe, right? That could have.
All right, let's pick up the pace here. We're over an hour already, and we haven't gotten to the end.
I said we should. Go into detail.
Yes, you mentioned this. I think. But okay, let's go. Let's pick up the case. Let's go into double time. All right.
Calendar and astronomy.
Calendar and astronomy. IWC, I like it. I like it a lot. I noticed the Parmesan Fleurier, by the way, this is like a fourth or fifth one in every category.
Yeah.
It's insane how many they have.
And I don't know 100% how it works, but I think every watch that you are putting forward, you have to pay for, right? In the GPHG.
Not sure. No idea.
The brands do pay for each watch they put forward. So that's why certain brands do not participate. I mean, Swatch Group is missing. Richemont is generally to an extent missing because we just saw IWC and that's it, right? So there are a few. Patek Philippe is missing. So there's a couple of watch brands that are not participating. But generally, it's a very, very nice and super cool event. I love that. This whole idea of having these kind of prizes getting awarded. It's a lot of publicity, so you get from us, even if you're just nominated and don't win, right? It's pretty good. I think it's worth it probably. Anyhow, so yes, Parmigiani Fleurier with the Chinese calendar, very complicated complication. Chinese calendar has so many different, for us, unknown ways of calculating certain specific events that it's super hard to make. Chinese calendars are extremely rare. and we do only see them a few times, and this is one of them. So, yeah, respect.
All right, done.
But
Next
who
one,
won?
mechanical
Who
exception.
won? I don't.
Who this one was the. One moment, please. The. Where is
was
it? The Beauvais.
The Beauvais.
The Beauvais.
Okay. Also, I mean, I must say, Beauvais generally is not really my cup of tea, but this looks
Not
cool.
mine either.
I wouldn't buy it either, but
not as cool as the Parmigiani or the IWC.
Yeah,
for my money.
For me, the IWC was a bit like, okay, we've seen that design of the watch before, but yeah,
we have, and I agree. It's a white. This is the Lake Tahoe edition Top Gun Perpetual calendar.
Yep.
They've done the movement. The only difference is it's in white, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of the only thing. But all right, mechanical exception. This is where the Audemars Piguet was nominated originally. This is the Audemars Piguet, the one that we mentioned that won the overall thing. So the way these overall categories work, the way the overall the Aiguille d'Or works is that you are nominated in one category.
Correct. Yes.
And then from there, they will choose from each category which one they think is the best watch in the entire show, so to speak.
Yep.
So this is where this was put in. Originally was mechanical exception. Nothing specific to mention here. I think everything. Louis Vuitton has a disgustingly hideous one. Another Automata.
Hideous.
Jacob & Co. Another ugly watch.
But again,
Haute Lance, another ugly watch.
Really, I mean, yes, it's hideous, but it's when you see that in motion again, it's like,
of course,
wow, right? What's
so
happening
this is,
that?
But I'm glad the AP won this one. I think it's deserved.
The AP didn't win this one. Mechanical exception.
No, sorry. The overall,
yeah,
yes.
In this category.
So by the way, this is one of the things that's very funny. Is imagine being AP sitting there. They call mechanical exception. They don't call you. You have assumed that you've lost. And then you get the surprise of winning the overall thing at the very end. Yeah. So this is kind of a nice, of course, it's extremely stressful.
Also, a very nice send-off for the CEO who's retiring at the end of the year from this title. Correct. He's moving on to a different CEO role somewhere else. We don't know yet. But
all right. So who did win this one?
Oddlands.
Technically.
Oddlands, yeah.
No comment.
Which is great. Comment. Which is, Oddlands is run by the Milan family as well. The brother of Edouard Milan is running Oddlands. So that's a huge win for them. Again, square watches, especially this TV format, right? This more squarish one. They are pretty big. It's an acquired taste, I must say. I like the complication. I love it. The watch itself, not really. No, it's square watches and
the colors are nice. If I'm going to be honest, the colors are nice. The blue, the gray, it looks very cool.
But yeah, as a mechanical exception, I think it's great. The Rue de Silva, it would have been my favorite, my pick of these, or maybe even this one or the Chapek. These two.
Chapek for me.
Audemars Piguet,
if I'm not picking the Audemars Piguet.
That it wins,
Audemars Piguet I would pick first.
Yeah, me too.
I would say the Audemars Piguet first, but you didn't win this. Oh, because
it's
did you
overall,
choose the AP? Yeah. But did you choose the AP in this category?
No, I think I would have chosen the Rudis to win.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think the Chapek is also very nice.
And then the next one is chronographs, and that's very, very interesting.
There's some ugly ones.
Yeah.
One of them that won.
I don't.
I would say in this case, it's not pretty. Call it what you will. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised the Tentograph didn't win this. The Grand Seiko Tentograph. I think there was so much buzz and hype. Not hype, but in the watch world, talking about how the difficulty of this Tentograph being made.
Sorry, it's a 10 beat chronograph. That we
it's.
So,
but
what is so hard with that?
If I'm not mistaken, it's the first chronograph made by
from Grand Seiko, yes.
Which is cool.
Yes, of course.
But it's a Tentograph. So what is it? It's a titanium.
It's just a high beat, 36,000.
High beat,
36,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like it.
Compared to like a Rattrapante or the other ones, You know what I mean?
But it does
Then you
have
have your
the longest
NAP with-
power reserve in the industry.
Sure. So the 72,
Yes.
72 hours? Is that the longest?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they did.
No. 72.
What is it? Is it 72? Okay. It says so in this description right here. The Tentograph, the 10-beat chronograph with the longest power reserve in the industry today. This is what they put in their description. In their, this is the description from GPHG.
Okay. Yeah, but who won is the watch with a 42-hour power reserve and only 18,000 vibrations per hour, which is interesting.
I also like, if I'm going to sit here and be honest, I love the Tag Heuer Skipper. I think it's super cool. I'm upset that they didn't make a more authentic re-edition of the Skipper, the original Skipper, the one that, because if you remember, both Revolution and Hodinkee made a special edition Tag Heuer Skipper back in the day. And I don't like how they put Carrera at the top. It should have said Skipper at the top, so forth and so forth. It should not have had the date window to be more faithful to the original, but it's a good looking watch.
And by the way, there's one Debitoon that I actually pretty much like.
Yeah,
different case. It's okay.
I don't like it.
DB8.
It's hard.
DB8.
All right, sports. Let's go to the next one.
Sports watches. I personally think
they made the right decision. No, absolutely
Of course,
not.
because I have one of these. Woo!
Yes.
And I wore it even yesterday, but just by accident when they picked the winner.
Before we get into it, let's talk about some honorable mentions. IWC, once again, with the Ingenieur.
Nominated.
The titanium one.
Nominated was the IWC, in titanium.
The Chopard Alpine Eagle.
Yeah, and this is the high frequency one.
The Monza, Tag Heuer Monza flyback chronometer in a carbon case. And
then we have
there's a Doxa, there's a Groeneveld, which we don't really care about at this point.
It's a cool watch.
And it's ugly. It's not a sports watch.
It's what? It's orange. That's the Dutch colors. That's
cool.
Then
the Tudor Pelagos 39, which this is what I'm saying.
You know, I grew up very close to the Dutch border, so I'm, not half Dutch, but it's close.
Then you can speak Dutch, right?
I call for you.
There you go.
Bit.
I don't know any Dutch.
That means I love you. Anyhow, so
Stroopwafel is all I know.
So the Doxa is cool. I somehow like.
I have no issues with the Doxas. I just don't think that it might not belong.
I personally feel that if I would spend my money, I would probably go for the the Alpine Eagle.
For me, it would be the titanium IWC Ingenieur.
Because this is this movement is from Chopard is just absolutely insane. It's 60-hour power reserve. That's maybe not too much, but it is a 57,600 vibrations per hour. It's not just high beat; it's ultra high beat.
Ultra high beat, yeah.
That is, and it's a COSC certified watch, so it's not a. It's precise. It ticks for 60 hours at that speed. It's amazing, I think. And it's made of titanium as well. Pretty cool watch. I really like it.
All right. Time is out.
But who won? Who won? Yeah.
Who won? We already said that.
You did say that? Okay. Sorry.
The Pelagos 39. Yeah, the Pelagos 39 won this, which I said, why did it win it? Because it's nothing new. It's just a smaller Pelagos, which...
Yeah, but if you look at the categories, I think when the description of the categories is a good how do you say that? It's a good explanation. I don't know if it actually explains this in the paragraph of what the category is about. Somewhere it explains that. On the website, I forgot where it is, and this is pretty interesting to see what they are looking for in this specific category, and in this case, Tudor has won by popular choice of the jury, so that's it.
Yeah,
A1.
Exactly. All right, two more. We're going to skip jewelry. We're going to skip artistic crafts
jewelry.
Because
there's another one.
Jewelry?
Yes. There's
this is going to be an hour-and-a-half episode.
That's quick.
All right, fine.
What won?
Quick, you go.
I would have never thought.
You do jewelry.
Yeah. What I would have never thought will win is the Bulgari bracelet, the Serpenti Cleopatra
It's cool. It's cool. I like it.
I
I like it. They call it the Cleopatra because it is a big, chunky, almost bangle style.
It's like half your arm.
Hexagonal. Yeah, it is half your arm.
Yeah.
Super cool. I have to say, I like all of them.
It also has a watch.
They're
in
all
it,
good.
but it's like one of the
Gucci,
stones is a
don't.
watch, basically.
Exactly.
And the Gucci is basically the
Chopard.
exact same mechanism that was in the other category, just with a different design. You have a central tourbillon, you have the stones that rotate around itself, and in 9 seconds, and you have the 90-second tourbillon in the center. I think it's pretty stunning. The Piaget with the basically it's a necklace with a watch on it as one of the stones. Yeah, Van Cleef and Arpels is of course Arpels is beautifully made. But it's also just from a watch perspective not my thing. But a Chopard with a happy
the
stone.
Chopard is super cool. I love it. It's called Pure Happiness,
and I think the Damiani,
which I like,
with it looks like a whole bunch of daffodils on your.
It's super cool. I love it.
That is pretty cool. But
I mean, I wouldn't wear it, but I like it for.
Anyhow, so who won? It was.
And the Piaget is fantastic too. But the Piaget with the necklace, you didn't mention.
Yeah, no, I did. I just said the Piaget with the necklace. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't hear. Okay, I was staring at this Damiani.
Also very cool, I must say, with a small movement in it.
I don't like the Gucci. Once again, I think Gucci is outclassed by their competitors.
You have to see it in motion. That's for me, I think, because it's such a moving watch, because there's so much happening in it when it actually ticks, which you don't see in a picture. It does look like this, like the most traditional, not a jewelry piece. It looks like a watch. But I just like it, how it moves. That's why.
All right, next.
Artistic crafts.
Artistic crafts. I don't know anything about any of these except the Piaget.
I wrote an article, I think, on Scottish Watches about the Sarpaneva, which I think is pretty amazing. This, when you see the Lume, when this is actually shining in this 50 million different colors at night, it's just so stunning. It's absolutely insane how this watch looks in the dark. Then you have, of course, the different MI work and decoration work and all of this stuff. There's some really, really craftsmanship that you can see. The Piaget there with a little, I think it's a tourbillon, right?
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Wow, right? And then I think also the Anders in Genève guilloché dial, if you understand how guilloché
I don't know
dials
why.
are made.
Yeah, that's a very complicated guilloché, but
anyhow, and there's some amazing
and the Van
stuff.
Cleef with another automaton looking thing. It's got a lion, 2 lions.
Yeah, a lion and a lioness
on the dial.
Don't know what they're doing. At least they're not copulating or something nasty, so that's good.
It's not Ulysse Nardin.
Not an erotic watch. Yeah.
There's no NSFW. Not suitable for work.
So, and then you have another tiger. Yeah, sorry, another animal watch, which is Louis Monet with the tiger, a big tiger, which is also very nicely detailed and doesn't look gaudy.
Who would wear this? It's
somebody who likes tigers.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there's a Rudis Silva that looks like remember that brand Ed Hardy. This looks like something off an Ed Hardy
a bit more
t-shirt.
Stylish because you have a fish and you have a flower and I don't know, the moon.
The thing in the middle, whatever that is a tourbillon or not, I don't know.
D'Orient.
But it looks like
it's a hymn.
Skull.
It's a hymn to the Orient. I don't know why. What's so Orient about it?
Who knows?
Maybe I have to.
All right, let's get into the good categories.
Petit
Aiguille and Challenge.
Okay.
So each one of these, Petit Aiguille, I think has to be under 5,000 Swiss francs, and then Challenge has to be under.
Yeah, I think so.
3,000, 2,000, something like this. So we have to keep that in mind. So these are the quote unquote budget alternatives.
Yeah.
So we have Bulgari Octo Roma, the new one, which I think is super cool. The Christopher Ward Bel Canto. So I don't know what you chose in this because you told me you got 0 out of all of it, right? In this category, what would you have picked? The new Tudor Black Bay? They also have a Louis Erard, Constantin Chaikin.
I would have probably, I could have picked the Christopher Ward in this amount of.
But then you did, that's what won. So why didn't you get this one correct?
No, I think I picked the Louis Erard.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But I totally
that would
understand
be the
why
alternative.
the Christopher Ward one. I mean,
No, the Christopher Ward deserved
Yeah,
this.
totally,
This is super
totally.
cool. Good on them.
a chiming watch for 4,000
Messina
pounds.
Lab,
Amazing.
Habring, Messina Lab, I have no interest in.
Messina, it's a
So-
sector dial, but it's so, I don't know. I don't know.
It looks like a Baltic. Come on.
correct. It's very boring.
It's done.
And
Nothing
it's
special.
Tudor, but I like it. It's a very nice watch. It's just
Mhm.
a slightly updated black base, so I don't think it's really that amazing to win this prize. But it's a great watch. Meta certified for that price is also pretty good. I mean, you don't get this
Yeah.
from any other brand actually.
Exactly. It's true. Very true.
Mhm.
All right. Challenge. Second to last category. Challenge had a number of things. A Chrono Tokyo GMT, which is kind of cool. Nomos Campus, also pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Studio Underdog, which everybody knows. This is the Perpetual. So the Dubai-based watch seller, retailer, whatever you want to call them, made a limited edition with this. So that's from them, which is kind of cool that this is the one that made it in here. A Seiko Diver, which is cool. A re-edition of the 1968 Seiko GMT Diver. And then a hideous Raymond Veal.
Hideous? I think it's
don't
very
like it.
nice. It's very nice.
It's not hideous. It's not hideous.
That's a pretty.
But why?
watch.
Who would pick this? Why? And this is the one that won. There's so many cool options here, and this is what they go
I
with.
do like it. I think the Studio Underdog did win before, no?
No,
They
the
didn't?
Nomos should have. No, the Studio Underdog, I don't think should have won because once again, it's still a Chinese seagull movement. That's out for me immediately. So I think in this case, should have been the Club Campus.
Yeah, California dial is nice.
It's
I'm
cool.
I'm not so sure. I mean, I like the Seiko because it's a nice GMT movement. It's also new in the sumo style divers.
Mhm.
I do feel this timeless Swiss watch looks very classic, but it looks like a bit probably pretend classic. I'm not so sure. Challenge. But Raymond Vale, I think I really like this watch. It's a very nice designed sector dial. I think it's classy. Would have picked it? No, that's why I did 0 right. But it is a nice watch. I can't say anything about it. So last
category, we have nothing to say. I don't have
Well,
anything to say about this.
You have to watch
there's
the
one that's
videos
cool.
of what they actually do, these things, because they're mechanical
So
clocks,
there's one
right?
that stands out to me, which is the one that won, which is the E-Type Jag. Is that what it is? I think so. Looks like an E-Type Jag. What is it?
Yeah, no, maybe.
Is it a Ferrari?
Could be. It's a bit. That's a one-seater, right? It has this.
Yeah, which could be the racing E-Type Jag.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, it's a Ferrari
It-
250
no,
Testarossa.
No,
I know it says
because
from
it
the
says-
Ferrari to the Lamborghini Miura.
So
The 60s.
I read
blah,
this
blah,
too.
Blah 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 blah.
It doesn't tell you.
It's it's just inspired by.
We have to use our own brain here, and I think it's a Jag E-Type
It has a bit of that. Yeah.
because it is called the Fast 2. So
that was a fast one. Again, to all of these things, if you go to the website, watch the videos. Right, there's on the individual pages. There's always a video of these things, and then you can just look at the YouTube video of that specific watch to see what it does in motion. It's nicer. It's nicer to see that way.
And there's an Alan Silberstein that's also very cool. I do like that.
Yeah.
The rest,
which is a funny,
I don't know what they
which is
do.
a funny thing, right? Which a mechanical clock or something that you put in your pocket. That's a bit like this. What's this Code 41? There's this brand from Switzerland that also does this little, like a credit card sized watch that you can put on your desk, but you can also just put it in your pocket. It's just you carry a mechanical watch with you as a like a pocket watch that is not really a pocket watch. Interesting concepts, right? And that looks like it. Or is it a travel alarm clock? Yeah. Okay, you don't put it in your pocket, but you take it with you. And it definitely, I think the Alain Silberstein definitely makes you want to wake up, right? Because it's fun to look at.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, done.
Wow.
I think that's
our GPHG.
a lot of stuff that we went through.
Mm-hmm.
But now, here's the thing. I guess that's it. We talked about everything. Okay. We'll save our chats for the next episode. Mm-hmm. But essentially, I hope, once again, a 45-minute episode turned into an hour and 25. So Thanks for bearing
Good.
with us.
And that comes in a week where coming week will be a lot of content from us. So I hope you don't get bored of us. Listen whenever you can. And
so once again,
yeah.
follow us at Lume Plotters. Follow our friends at CP7. I think it's chrono_passion_7 or something along these lines. Chrono Passion 7 podcast.
Yeah, you will find it on
out.
Instagram very easy.
Andy and Parm. Yeah. So, all right.
Guys, it was a pleasure as always. And we hear you soon. And see you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
On to our Watch Week. Bye.